Yo, what up? Let's get up in here. Let's get up in here. Let's get up in here. Don't be a lurker. Make a comment. Kwame Kaji, what up, dog? Einstein, maybe. I don't know about no damn Mr. Rogers. I ain't got no sweater vest on, no cardigan. Lion, what up? Shit, with that hawk out there right now, this is what I wore outside today. With that hawk out there, this is a merino wool shirt and a merino wool sweater and a two-ply cotton shirt. It's cold as hell out there today. That hawk out there is shit. And I'm wearing a damn heavy wool coat with it with Sherpa lining on the inside. It's not. It's like it's 40 something, so it's warm for the season, but the winds is like it's 30-mile-an-hour winds. Mr. O with the info, what up, man? Cam, what up? Revelator, what up? It's cold. Where you at right now? You don't know about cold. Yeah, I figured that. Well, look at this guy. It's gonna be 70 degrees here in North Carolina. Well, we see this 40-degree weather as a heat wave, just so you know. KC writes, speaking about gay shit, did you see Josh Hart put his thumb in Jalen Brunson's butt live on television during the NBA Cup celebration? I sure did. I sure did. And what do I have to say about that? Let me tell y'all something. For you younger men, we tried to help y'all. I'm not saying anybody in here is moist, but we tried to help men overall. Generation X men tried to, you know, with our own sons and with the sons of women that we was dealing with that wasn't ours, we tried to encourage them to have masculine outlets for play. We tried to encourage them to play football, baseball, play war with guns, right? Fight if they had to. We tried to encourage them to do all of that, right? And these women told us that they didn't want that for their sons. That's what they said. They wanted them to sit in the house up under women and play video games. When I was growing up, when summer vacation came around, I had to be out of the house by 9 o'clock. My mother would have a duffel bag with a baseball glove, a baseball bat, a football, and some toy guns and a toy army helmet and knife and all of that shit sitting by the door for me. And sometimes she'd even put a sandwich in there too if it wasn't that hot, because she'd be worried about the meat turning to something, food poisoning. If it wasn't 90 degrees, she'd wrap a sandwich in foil and put a sandwich in there. In other words, nigga, don't come back. Don't come back into the streets like the street lights come on. Right? We tried to set it up so the generation that came after us, these millennials, could live the same way and enter into masculinity the same way. And these females thwarted us at every turn. They thwarted us at every turn. And once again, we didn't just try it with our own sons. We tried with our nephews, and we tried it with the children, the women that we was dealing with. We did. Because if we had accomplished that, you wouldn't see all of this damn moistness that you do today. KC writes, bruh, it was like he was comfortable, like they do that on the regular. He did it like it was, yeah. 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 Yep. We used to play baseball in the back of the junkyard in damn near 100-degree weather. Right? When we started riding bikes, we didn't start with no goddamn. I don't know what happened to when the millennials had their kids. They started right. They took them out there to ride a bike. They got a goddamn hockey helmet on, the shin guards, knee pads, elbow pads. Like goddamn. I don't. I don't know, man. But we tried to prevent it. But the rules of the community. And then I don't want to hear, oh, well, y'all should have put y'all foot down. And We tried. We tried. It's kind of hard to have the community that people talk about that they want when you have to do it with a woman that's looking to subvert you at every turn. Alphaing your way through that shit. KC writes, can you imagine doing that to Charles Oakley? He would have knocked your ass out on the stage. Yeah. Yeah, I seen Charles Oakley in person before. I seen Charles Oakley in person before. I seen him in the gym at CVS High School, and he said some shit that blew my mind. It was a grown ass man trying to get his autograph. And you know what Charles Oakley said? Charles Oakley said, damn, you dick riding ass nigga. I ain't finna sign shit for you. Get out the way. You see all these little kids in here. Get your dick riding ass out the way. I think I was like, nah, I was blown away. No, I forgot how, but I was blown away. I was fucking blown away, man. I was older than that, but I was blown away. I was blown away. Yep. He said, man, get your dick riding ass out the way, man. Look at all these little kids here. Because it was like probably over 100 of us in there. Because it was it was Charles Oakley, it was Tim Hardaway, and Ross Strickland, and who else was there? There was another Bulls player, and I think no, this when he was still with the Bulls. Remember, he was with the Bulls at first. He was with the Bulls at first. Now he was playing on the Bulls at the time, but remember that Tim Hardaway was actually from Chicago. So Tim Hardaway was, they was coming there just to see the kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing an NBA player was normal back then in the hood. It ain't like it is now. All the NBA is turning into a daddy's money league like golf, bro. It wasn't like that before. Like it wasn't hard to drive down 83rd Street over East in the summertime and look on the courts at Ecclesall, and you will see pros running games against street niggas. I'm dead serious. Even though the Stones would be up there with their pistols and shit, because they didn't want nobody to try to like no outsiders to come and try to disrespect our hood by robbing an NBA player while they was there. So they used to be they trust me, nothing go happen to the NBA players. Niggas was out there with techs, 45s, sawed off shotguns, Draco, all of that shit. Street sweepers. The NBA players was straight. The police was scared to come over there. But you weren't finna come over there and rob one of them niggas. Not when more of them was out there. Oh no. But that shit, yeah, we see them niggas run full course. Yeah. It ain't like today's NBA. It ain't. Yeah, but Charles Oakley, that shit was funny as hell. No. I ain't say 83rd. No, not. I said 83rd Street. I'm talking about Ecclesall Park. That's on 83rd between Yates and Phillips. Ecclesall Park. I don't know what the name is of that park you talking about. I know where you talking about though. By the highway. Yeah, man. All right, man. Let's get into this news story, man. The more things change, the more things stay the same, I tell you. Fair use. Fair use.
ETM 13 Newsroom, a co-founder of Black Lives Matter Birmingham has been arrested.
According to jail records, Eric Hall was arrested late last night and charged with domestic assault. The charge is listed as a misdemeanor. Records show he remains behind bars at the Birmingham City Jail. We're working to learn more about what led up to that arrest, and we'll share that with you on air.
Now, wait a minute. Let's rewind it. You took the words right out of my mouth, Tech Boy. Why he got his head tilted like that? Why he got his head tilted like that with that come hither look on his face? Right? This boy looks sweeter than the glucose test. Right? This boy looks sweeter than the glucose test. This boy looked like a Harlem sissy finna host a jam session, pun intended, back in 1932. This shit is wild. Right? So, yeah. So y'all think he fruity? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Let's find out, is this boy fruity? Let's find out. Hell, does Messiah said, when I was nice and ball, I wanted to go to hoop in the shot. I regret that. I didn't want to take that 4-hour drive. Well, it might have sharpened your skills up, man. Might have sharpened up your skills. Shit. Hit the wrong 3 dots. Fair use.
And we're hearing from local activist Eric Hall for the first time since his domestic assault arrest on Tuesday. The Black Lives Matter Birmingham founder is also using this moment to call attention to conditions inside the Birmingham jail.
Your reporter James Giles joining us now. James, what is Hall saying about his arrest?
Well, Taylor, Steve Hall says what stemmed from that arrest was the night of that arrest, a friend was staying with him at his home, and that friend had...
Peep the look on this brother's face. The look on this brother's face is, man, why you got me reporting on this fruity ass shit? That's the look on his face. Why you got me reporting on this fruity ass shit? Look at him. Why you got me reporting on this fruity ass shit, man? All the stories y'all could have sent me out on, why y'all send me out on this shit?
And that friend happened to be having a mental health episode and appeared to be drunk. Now, he says he called police for help, believing his friend would be taken to a crisis facility. But instead, Hall says, despite restraining the friend until police arrived, Hall was the one who was actually arrested. Now, after 2 days in city jail, Hall is now calling on city leaders to take action, describing overcrowding and unsanitary conditions that he says force inmates to find alternative ways to maintain personal hygiene.
And some who don't even have access to a simple sink are forced to use toilet water to simply.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at this nigga. This nigga got my screen smelling like some goddamn rosemary. I mean, some motherfucking rose water Febreze. This nigga got my screen smelling like a motherfucking fruit basket from Bouquets R Us. This nigga got my screen smelling like a motherfucking pina colada. This nigga got my screen smelling like some goddamn orange sherbet. What the fuck is going on here?
Take a simple wash up. These conditions are inhumane, and everyone deserves to live with dignity and respect, regardless of whatever criminal charges or whatever the city or.
Why do your tongue keep catching your motherfucking teeth, nigga? What did somebody do to your tongue where you can't move it around your teeth when you talking? Why do all of your THs sound like Fs? What the fuck is that about? Did somebody push your tongue back into your throat, nigga? Why do you sound like that? Why do you sound like that? I keyed, entertainment purposes only. Let's go.
For the state have imposed on our people.
And Hall says after
No, they imposed that on you, nigga. You the one who locked up. Don't try to make that something that any race person that's locked up in that jail, they going through that same shit. You should say incarcerated people, not our people. Every black person ain't locked up. Look at the look on this brother's face. Look at the look on his face. I already know what he thinking. I can't say the word. I already know what he thinking. It starts with an F and the end and a T. I already know what he thinking. Get ass. I already know what he thinking.
After witnessing those conditions in the Birmingham City Jail, it prompted Black Lives Matter Birmingham to step in and pay the bail for at least 5 people who couldn't afford to post it themselves. They had been sitting in there for a while. We also did reach out to the Birmingham city leaders as well as the Birmingham Police Department, and we'll update this story and let you know what they say once we hear back. Your reporter in the newsroom, James Giles, WBRC 6 News.
And we're hearing from local activist Eric Hall for the first time since his domestic assault arrest on.
That brother, you know what? If that would have been me, look at this nigga. If that would have been me, I would have had to go do something real manly after I reported this shit. If that would have been me, I would have went and went to my house and turned off the gas valve and separated and drugged the motherfucking stove out and cleaned behind the stove and shit and then put the shit back. I'd have had to go do some real manly shit. Drop a transmission or something, or go hunting or something, reporting on this fruity booty ass shit. Yup. Saul writes they have to call him last minute. He got a t-shirt on because ain't nobody else want to cover this. Yeah, ain't nobody want to cover this bussy story. You know what? They probably should have called Anton Daniels. He would have covered it because he seemed to be mighty delighted when he was sitting there with Fleece Johnson. That's who they should have called. They should have called Anton Daniels. I should have called Anton Daniels. Now, why are we discussing this fruity ass shit? Why are we discussing this fruity ass shit? We are discussing this fruity ass shit because obviously one of his handlers from Black Lives Matter has instructed him to do this civil rights grandstanding to try to make it a modern day version of Martin Luther King's letters from Birmingham jail. Now, before we get caught into anything too emotionally evocative, we have to remember a couple of things about Dr. King. Number one, Dr. King was a pansexual who ran with a very seedy crowd and frequently caroused in dens of iniquity. Number two, we have to remember that Martin Luther King was a communist and was frequently spotted at the Comintern in New York and in other cities, but especially in New York, in Greenwich Village. And we all know how they get down in Greenwich Village by now. What I'm saying is not slander. What I'm saying is not conjecture. What I'm saying is recorded historical truth. Okay. I actually saw a documentary before with that individual that used to run with Martin Luther King, Bayard Rustin. Now, we all know what Bayard Rustin liked to do behind closed doors, right? And so I actually saw a documentary about Martin Luther King, and at that point, I don't know, I think Bayard Rustin still is alive, but at that point, at the end of it, Bayard Rustin was actually saying in there that they tested the frontiers of free speech and of civil rights, and now the next frontier is, you know what it is, rainbow rights. And so today we ponder whether it is that rainbow rights has always ridden the coattails of civil rights, right? I remember before Obama voted in gay marriage, you had many of them coming on the leftist controlled media and saying that this was the next civil rights issue. Never mind the fact that so-called black men were disproportionately targeted for arrest on many fronts. Never mind the fact that you could get more time for stepped on crack rock than you could for raw tiger paw cocaine. Right? Never mind that. Never mind the fact that the Joe Biden 1994 crime bill defunded vocational and educational opportunities for men that were in prison. So they couldn't even recover themselves from the waves of mass incarceration that have been occurring ever since the early 90s. I would think that that is more of a civil rights issue than rainbow marriage. Or how about the fact that most southern states still have felon disenfranchisement laws on their books? What about that? I don't know why we shouldn't have universal suffrage here in the United States. I would think that that is a civil rights issue. As a matter of fact, Trick Daddy actually started a campaign in the late 90s to get rid of felon disenfranchisement laws. I donated to it. I would think that that is more of a pressing civil rights issue than rainbow marriage. Right? That's not to say that I that's their business. But I don't know why it has to be such a matter of national importance is all I'm saying. I would think that the fact that most pharmaceutical companies were charging Americans exorbitant amounts of money for the same medications that they were selling to foreigners in foreign countries for pennies on a dollar, I would think that that's a civil rights issue. But oh, no. This, of course, is more important. This is more important. Right? And so, following in that tradition, it seems like Black Lives Matter wishes to continue it. As a matter of fact, they are upfront with their urge to continue it. Right? They said on their own website before they scrubbed it, they said that we are a trans, queer, gay, and lesbian and gender affirming organization of Black people that seeks to dismantle the Western prescribed nuclear family as a way to end patriarchy. They said that on their own website, and on their own website, the part where it got to families, they had the cartoon silhouette of a woman flanked by 2 children. See, let me explain something to you, Illmatic. Illmatic writes, I've had Black females call me a bigot because I told them that gay rights isn't something that Black people should be fighting for. Right? The reason that so-called Black women so fastidiously defend the rainbow community is that it gives them voting power, and it gives them political weight to their voting power because they vote for each other's agenda, and because most of them are actually gay, they just closeted. Right? Yeah, you're right about that, Cortez Smith. Shout out to this space for single-handedly making BLM change their mission statement. Yep, I remember I did a video about that shit too back in the day. They scrubbed that motherfucker quick. And they scrubbed that motherfucker quick. And so I would say that in the past 30 years, civil rights has basically become an avenue of political power for women and for people that live alternative lifestyles. When you're talking about civil rights for Black people, it has nothing to do with Black men. It has nothing to do with Black men. It doesn't. That's why the Democratic Party wonders why they have such a problem with, younger Black men, especially millennials and down, is because it's becoming apparent that your so-called civil rights agenda includes nothing for Black men. Nothing. There's nothing there. There's no meat on the bone. So if there's no meat on the bone, why exactly should a so-called Black man inconvenience himself on some random Tuesday on November to put you in office, to continue your power, when you give him nothing? And in fact, not only do you give him nothing, but you greatly reduce his quality of life. You condescend against him, you slander him, and you constantly recycle damaging narratives about him. But this is the man that you want to vote for you. right? This is the man that you want to vote for you. Even though you constantly spew narrative, well, basically all black men. I tried to tell brothers this. I tried to tell brothers this 2 years ago, and some of y'all was in that very live 2 years ago when I tried to tell brothers that once you hit 30, you Mr. from Color Purple. Once the digits of your age don't have a 2 in front of them no more, you Mr. from Color Purple. See, when you in your teens and 20s, oh, you're a young black man. But once you hit, once your age got a 3 in front of it, well, now you Mr. from Color Purple. And they was telling me, oh, you need to touch grass, OG. Oh, you shouldn't be trying to pump negativity into these brothers' heads. Why would you say something like that? We the most desired and all of this shit. I said, okay, just live long enough. You'll find out. And before a few months, some of them same guys that said that shit was coming back to me, was like, yeah, man, you right. Oh, yeah, I know. I know. I know. They'll sit here and paint Mr. from Color Purple narratives about you while they sit here and vote Sean Connery and Richard Gere as being one of the world's most sexiest people clear up into their seniors about to die. Clear up until then. Matter of fact, I think they had Sean Connery in People Magazine's Sexiest People until he actually died. Until he actually died. Yep, until he actually died. But you are a dirty old man by the time you 30. Illmatic writes, black females will simply gaslight black men into voting against their own best interests. You'll get called a misogynist just because you ask, how does this party benefit me? Of course you will. Of course you will. But that's the secret sauce, so-called black man. Nothing is supposed to benefit you. You are supposed to be a slave into perpetuity. Nothing is supposed to benefit you. Nothing. Nothing is supposed to benefit you. Anything that benefits you is labeled as retrograde. Send me that video. Yeah, send me that video. Anything that benefits you is labeled as retrograde, misogynistic, a scam, anything. Anything that anybody even presumes might possibly benefit you is called a scam. Right? Anything that might possibly benefit you is called a scam. Outspoken, what up, dog? What up? Do y'all see what this brother just said? KC writes, my boomer father told me that I will be alone forever because I didn't vote for Kamala. That showed me that they subconsciously know what they're doing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I'm not finna say nothing about your father that you might not have said already, KC. But that just shows, yeah, these boomer niggas, they gotta go, man. These niggas gotta go. These niggas gotta go. These, and the sad part, do you have some Generation X simps? Yes. Do you have some Generation X boule niggas? Yes. But guess what? Not that I'm saying they any better. But Generation X niggas that you see saying this shit is doing it for some type of fucking financial benefit. These boomer niggas just do it just because. They do it just because. I want y'all to think about that. They do this shit just because. It's crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. Oh, man. And I don't know how he thought that it's called a secret ballot for a reason. You don't have to tell people who you vote for. Yep. You're right about that, Illmatic. They view anything that benefits black men as male privilege. Matter of fact, my brother's Keeper program was attacked by black females because it didn't send it and they want you in ruins. Yep. Anything. You can have a fucking a club football team that's producing good high school recruits and sending them to recruited teams, and they go into the NFL and they'll call that male privilege, even though these niggas fucking up their liver. All of this shit, they call that male privilege. I actually had one of my exes called football male privilege. I said privilege, and I rolled up my legs and showed her the surgery scars. I show her, how my nose looks. It's come from playing football. It's come from playing football. But yeah, you destroying part of your body. Oh, that's male privilege. Yep. But this just goes to show you, whenever you have, all of these movements, be real careful of what you subscribing to politically. Be real careful of what somebody tries to sell to you as being for you. Man, preach. Illmatic writes, but Tito, on the flip side, they will complain about it not being enough quality black men to go around, but will complain about any all boys program to benefit inner city youth. I don't understand it. Y'all will complain about it not being enough quality men that's earners and shit to go around, when y'all for generations have subscribed to mass abortions and removing technical and vocational programs out of public schools. How do you like? I'm gonna go all day with this, man, but this is what it is. This is what it is. Just be careful what agenda that you subscribe to, man. Straight up. I'm about to get up out of here. It's been a Black Pill PSA. Peace.